I'm not going to tell you to quit your job. I'm not going to tell you everything is broken. And I'm also not going to act like I got it all figured out. Because I myself, I'm still in it. Okay? I'm still working as a full-time dishwasher at a home retirement community. And I'm earning about $19.25 an hour. So when I talk about this system, I'm not speaking from the outside looking in. I'm speaking from the inside looking around. And what I started noticing is something very simple, but kind of uncomfortable once you actually see it clearly. You see, most people working a 9-to-5 job don't have an income problem. They have a system problem. Let me explain. Now, here's what I want you to think about. If I work a shift, I get paid. If I don't work, I don't get paid. If I work more hours, I make more money. If I work less, I make less. Now, do you see what I'm saying? And that's a problem. And at first, that feels pretty normal because everyone is doing the exact same thing. We tell ourselves, hey, look, it's just a routine. Wake up, go to work, come home, repeat. The same cycle. Why? That doesn't make sense. But here's what I want you to really think about. I want you to understand that that system only works as long as your time keeps working. And here's what I want you to keep in mind. And this is going to help you a lot, okay? Time is the one thing that you can't increase. Keep that in mind. Look, you can get better at your job. You can get faster. You can even get a raise. But the model itself doesn't change. Why? Because you're still trading hours for income. You are trading your time for money. That's the problem. And the moment I actually understood that, it actually didn't really make me angry at my job. No, not really. What it did is that it actually started to make me question the type of system I was relying on. Because here's the thing. If you only get paid when you show up to work, then your income will always have a limit. Even if you're working harder than everybody else. Guys, look, I said it earlier. It is a 9-to-5 job. If your job is paying you $19 an hour, that's all you earn. If it's $20 an hour, that's all you earn. If it's $30 an hour, that's all you earn. You can never earn way more than how much your job is paying you per hour. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that's the part that most people never stop long enough to think about. And this is where a lot of questions started popping in my head. Instead of asking myself, how do I make more money at my job? I started asking a whole different question. The first question that popped up in my head was this. What would it look like if I can build an income that is not tied to my hours at all? And that exact question is where everything shifted for me. And when I started asking myself that question, what would it look like if I can make money without having to trade hours for it? That's when I started to pay very close attention to something that I've been ignoring for a very long time. You don't know what it is? Come closer, come closer, come closer. Here's what it is. The internet. I'm not talking about it in a way that most people are thinking about it, okay? So get that out of your head. You're probably thinking, oh, scrolling on social media. Nope, that's not what I'm talking about. You're probably also thinking entertainment, acting all goofy and dancing on TikTok. That is not what I'm talking about, okay? So get that foolishness out of your head. What I'm talking about is actually how people are using the internet to make money. That's what I'm talking about. Because if you look closely, you will realize that there are a lot of people out there who are not trading their time for money like you and I. Think about this. They're not clocking in. They're not trading time directly. They're building something once and getting paid from it multiple times. And at first, I didn't fully understand it. I said that because I used to think this was just for influencers, people with big, massive followings, or people who are already experts. That's what I used to think. But I was wrong, because the more I looked into it, the more I realized something simple. The shift for me popped up in my mind when I realized that most of these people are not selling their time. They're selling solutions. Now, let me break it down in the simplest way possible, because this is going to click for you. Watch this. Instead of saying, I'll work an 8-hour shift and get paid once, they're saying, I'll create something online that solves a specific problem for people. People can buy it anytime. Do you see the difference of mindset now? That something Can be a simple guide, a PDF, a small course, a system, or even just knowledge that helps someone get results faster. My friend, this is nothing complicated. The key difference is this: they create it one time, but it doesn't get sold just one time. It can be sold again and again and again. And that's when I had that bulb in my head. I want you to understand that the difference between a job and this model is not effort. It's how the effort gets paid. Because at my job, every time I want to make money, what do I have to do? I have to show up again. But in this model, the work you do today can keep producing later. And that's the beauty. Look, let me make sure I make this very clear so you and I are both on the same page here. I am not saying that this is easy. And I'm definitely not saying that this is instant. I did not say that, so get that out of your head. This still takes a lot of work, consistency, and discipline. But it's still a way different system than what you used to, which is trading your time for money and working a 9-to-5 job. And once you see that, you can't unsee it. Because now you're not just thinking how many hours can I work this week. No, you start thinking what can I build that keeps working even when I'm not. And that's the shift that most people never make. Not because they can't, but because no one ever breaks it down in a simple way. So now that you see the difference between working for hours and building something that can be sold more than one time, then we need to talk about the part that actually matters long term. And that's leverage. Because I want you to understand that not all income works the same way. The money that you make at your job is what's called active income. That means you have to be there for your income to even exist. You show up, you get paid. You don't show up, it stops. So every week, it resets back to zero and you start all over again. And that's the problem about when it comes to working a 9-to-5. Now, I want you to compare that to what we were just talking about. If you create something that solves a specific problem, like a simple guide or a digital product, and people can actually buy it online, that product doesn't reset every week. It stays there and it can keep working. And that's where leverage comes in. Leverage just means your effort is no longer tied to one single outcome. One piece of work can produce multiple results. And I'll keep this very real with you. This is not about making money while you sleep like a lot of people say it online. It's about building something one time that doesn't require you to start from zero every single time. Because that is a real problem when it comes to working a job. You're not building forward, you're maintaining. Every week is a restart. Every paycheck is tied to restart the same process again. But when you start building something with leverage, even something small, you're stacking effort instead of repeating it. And that's the moment things begin to change. Because now you're not just working for income, you're working to build a system. And systems behave differently. A system doesn't ask, how many hours can you give me today? No. A system asks, what did you already build? And how can it keep working? And that's why some people can step away for a day, a week, a month, or even longer, and the income doesn't really disappear. Not because they're lucky, but because they're not relying on time the same way. Now, I want to make sure I make this very clear so you don't misunderstand what I'm not saying here. This doesn't mean that you stop working completely. No, this just means that you start working differently. That's it. Because instead of only trading time, you're slowly building something that doesn't rely so much on your time. And once you understand that, you stop chasing for more hours. You start building something that lasts. My friend, what I'm teaching you is nothing new. This also applies to offline businesses. For example, McDonald's. McDonald's don't make money based on hours. They make money because they have a system. They sell products like burgers, Coke, and fries. To who? Customers. Customers who are interested in buying those products. They also have a process that turns attention into sales. Make sense? This also applies to other companies like Best Buy, JCPenney, Amazon, Coca-Cola, Adidas, the billion-dollar companies as well. You see? The billion-dollar companies that I mentioned, they don't ask how long can we work. No, they're always asking how many people can they bring in the business. You want to make sure you take the same concept that this billion-dollar business do in your own online business online. It's the same thing. No store, just a page. No foot traffic, just attention. No shelves, just digital products. That's it. People see, get interested, and buy. The process is the same, and that's business. Look, my friend, you do not need anything fancy, okay? You just need something that helps people and a way that people can find that thing. That's it. That's all you need. And after I realized all this, I stopped feeling stuck. I needed a plan after that. So in the end, I needed to master one skill and turn that skill into an offer and create content to reach out to people. So my friend, if you're watching this and you feel stuck in that cycle of trading your time for money, I get it because I'm in it too. I'm not speaking from the outside. I'm building this in real time myself right now. But the difference is now that I actually have a plan. And that plan is simple. It's not about doing more. It's about doing the right things in the right order. So if you want to see how this works step by step, how to pick a skill and how to turn it into something that people will actually pay for, and how to use content to bring people in, just go ahead and check the first link you see down below under this YouTube description to get instant access. But don't click it just to scroll, okay? Click it if you actually ready to start building something, because this isn't overnight. It's not magic, but it is a real path to building an income that doesn't rely only on your time. You can start now or you can stay in the same cycle. The choice is yours. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.